It's funny. I've not really been very nervous about recording videos when it comes to gaming ones, but I haven't really done much of any realistic ones. It's so much different when I end up doing recordings of games or streaming them as well, let alone probably even showing my webcam during certain gaming streams. But when I show actual face to face stuff, it's so much different. I feel it's like this is why I don't use webcams basically. But the only reason I'm using a webcam is because it was about time that I did. So, sorry about that. The fact is, you can plainly see what is going on, and I'm excited to present that. Welcome to my second Dice Trials return. The you can call it technical remaster of the second Dice Trial that I have made originally before. Just that this first part is going to be long because I have a lot to explain. Well, and for thumbnail purposes, I'm going to do this because because Dice Trial parts usually don't require my font and instead would be dice as the font. But then when something happens, I'll show it off in like when I end the part when it ends up being more than one part, which there's only one chapter in this Dice Trial that will be more than one part unless I end up making a half by half like a half thing, even though I'm sort of hoping that this Dice Trial only lasts 10 parts at the moderate. But if it lasts 8 parts, that'll be pretty dang funny. I'm pretty sure even 9 parts would be pretty dang funny. But I do have an idea when it ends up lasting 9 parts. But I have two things to say about this Dice Trial. Do you recall that I did a second Dice Trial before, but back then it was written on paper. I drew the picture of it and then eventually did it. Well, I lost it. I don't know where the heck it went, but I swore I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it at all. And then, do you remember my first Dice Trial that I did so long ago? If you don't, then I will do a revisit on that too. But the first Dice Trial is super simple. All it takes is you have to. This game is different, but the first Dice Trials game is called Beat the Score, where you literally have to. In multiplayer, it is up to 4 people. Up to 4 people can play, unless you have 2 Tenzi dice sets, then it's up to 8. If you want to be crazy enough, 5 5 Tenzi sets, because here are the requirements of the first Dice Trial. Literally, just the Tenzi dice. And then, of course, I'll write on the notepad on how you play it, because it's simple. It's simply just rules. It'll probably be like if it's ever released, it will probably be like a fun picture, but I'm not very good at drawing pictures, where it's literally you have to beat the score, and in solo player there's an all different kind of thing. It's that I wanted to make dice games that weren't just multiplayer in case people don't have anyone to play with. That's why I started making dice games that were mainly tactics for solo players only, even though I am making exceptions that every Dice Trial will have a multiplayer thing in it, but not all of them. Really, most of them will not be 4-player. The first Dice Trial is 4-player. The second Dice Trial that I'm about to do is 2-player, but the second player controls the villain rather than the heroes. That, or you can make it 4-player eventually. I'll explain that later, and it'll be really interesting if that ends up happening. Third Dice Trial was meant to be 2-player as well, but mainly up to 4 players, for one choosing the hero to play as, and the final player controlling the villain that attacks the players. fourth dice trial, same thing. Fifth dice trial, same thing. Sixth dice trial, same thing, but in the circumstance that it can be two player for one team versus one team, or four player being a 2v2. Sorry for rambling on about how these dice trials work, but it's been forever since the last time. That's why I'm talking about all of this. And then my seventh and likely last dice trial that I don't think I'll ever make. If I do make it, it will be crazy. Was going to also be 4 players, probably even 6 players. But the reason why was because of the heroes and the villains being controlled and such. But really, it's just a lot. It's a lot for that dice trial. I had even prepared the fact that I was going to make it after the due to be released Omega Chronicles 3rd series that I haven't even done yet. It's so funny thinking about how far I've gone through dice trials. So, how this works is the same thing, except for it's not as tedious as last time, where originally you would use... You can still use dice for HP and stuff, but I'm using the computer, and it's a lot, really. I don't know what the... Oh, yeah. So, I set it up, but I'm very nervous that I'm going to be... I'm very nervous that I'm going to be, like, in trouble for it. Somewhat. I'll just show it on... Oh, screw it. I'm going to put it on the corner and then just lessen it a little bit so that you can slightly read it. Like here. And now at this point, I don't even know where my webcam is. I could just... No, I won't. So, if you can't read it, then that's fine. I'm just going to explain how this works anyways. So, I'll read it off, but you will get the same thing if it ever releases. This dice trial, likely to become a dice game, is a turn-based RPG inspired by Mario RPG games and Mario Party. The very first time I've ever done this was because of Mario Party. I've played Mario Party 8 and it was so much fun. I was like, what if I turned the spaces into enemy spaces instead? That's what caused it. Classic Mario adventure, but it seems like something hidden is threatening the Mushroom Kingdom. Soon to threaten the world. Peach counts on Mario to put a stop to the threat at hand, but although he thinks he'll be alone, 2 more heroes are out there to be at his aid, is what I should say here, so I will. At his aid. Oh my word. And this is what happens when I record. At his aid. I end up not knowing where the freaking A key is. What's threatening the Mushroom Kingdom? And if Bowser's not the one doing this, then who is? Find out in 8 chapters of this story-driven experience. I must say experiment. It requires a 10D dice, any game piece, like a pawn or sari figure, and of course a board of whatever chapter you're on. What I forgot to say was that it also requires up to 3 coins, even though really you need 2, but it's in case you would need just multiple coins anyways. Characters. Mario, your main hero, the hero who needs no introduction. Yeah, we would already know about all of this, so I'm not really going to read all of this off. If only he wasn't known for having his name forgotten, or for being a bad character, because good grief, Nintendo apparently hates Luigi. Bowser, usually known as a villain, but at times he joins the heroes when everything is at stake, or even just invited to parties. Although powerful, even he knows he'd need the help of the ones he calls his nemesis. Here are the rules. Roll a die and move forward the amount of spaces that you rolled. There are 6 colors to look out for. Blue are safe spaces. You can even use the time to heal if you don't want to roll onward. You don't have to worry about just landing on a blue space in order to heal. You can just heal at any time. But in more difficulties like hard or nightmare, hard is the hard would be the hardest difficulty unless you beat normal or hard. That'll be explained later. Red is an enemy space. Anytime you land on it, you encounter a specific enemy, dependent on dice rolls or coin flips. You usually usually if it's like a coin flip, that means there are only 2 enemies out there to look out for. But if it's a dice roll or die roll, in this case, there are more than 2. Green is a shop. On easy, you can choose to go to the shop if you rolled too high to land on one. But on normal, you start with 1 shop token, enabling you to land on the shop, or if you roll too high otherwise. But you won't get any on hard, so you have to try to figure out. You have to hope that you land on a shop space, or else you won't buy anything. Yellow is a lucky space, which, of course, in Mario Party games, yellow spaces in Mario Party 8 was a lucky space. But in other Mario Party games, it would be a musical note space instead. Enemies spawn, but they are rare and guaranteed to drop a certain item. Except for I made it so that certain enemies don't do that. That item is either just 1 item or in between 2 to 5. That is completely wrong. I'm going to say well, dang it. I'll just say it that what what well what I meant to say here really was it can it's like there can be multiple items that can be dropped from certain enemies, but of course when you're on hard or nightmare, that that item is like whatever's the lower of the few is what you get. That or really it's just dependent on the coin flip, and if you get heads, then you get the best item out there. If you get tails, then you get the worst. Then of course on nightmare mode, you don't get the item. Plus the enemies are really hard on lucky spaces, so you have to be cautious when you want or don't want to land on those spaces. Only appears in chapter 8, the final chapter, will be pink spaces. Heals everyone up on full health. Of course you would pass the space on hard because there's no clause for healing. On easy or normal, basically if you roll too high, you can just land on the farthest pink space. Orange is a boss fight, so you have to stop on the orange space. They are not passable. Can't because it is pretty much cheating if you pass the boss. Especially the fact that you pretty much need it in order to gain the experience needed. 4 difficulties are in this game. Easy mode. Enemies deal half damage and their item drops are guaranteed. You also get double the experience so that you can level up faster. Normal enemies deal normal damage. The experience points you gain are also normal. So good luck. This is the only difficulty where there are tokens that you both start with and get from shops. On hard, every time an enemy attacks, you have to flip a coin. If you get heads, they deal normal damage, but if you get tails, they deal double damage. No tokens in shops, and there are no blocking tokens either. In the lucky space, it has a chance to fail. You have to flip a head. Or no. For it to fail, it happens if you don't roll a double on a pair of dice. I forgot about that. I forgot that it wasn't a coin flip where if you get heads, you get the guarantee, or Tails, you fail. Nightmare, unlocked after beating the game on either normal or hard. Every enemy deals double damage, and you don't get a blocking token. Obviously, you also, well, of course, Bowser is the only dependency you have. You have to hope that the enemies land on Bowser and not on Mario or Luigi. Otherwise, they both are in for a wallop. You also get half a experience. Don't worry about your attacks because they will still deal normal damage. If you lose, flip a coin. If you get heads, you only start over from the start of the current chapter. But if you get tails, you have to start over from the very beginning, which will be which of course is in the name. It will be an absolute nightmare. If you make it past the final boss, a secret final boss will appear, which can be battled on either normal, hard, or nightmare difficulty. And no, you don't have to play the game all over again to see it, but you do have to battle the final boss again. Basically, you have to, if you chose Chapter 8 and want to battle the secret final boss, you have to defeat the final boss first. Good luck! This is only for those who feel ready for a challenge, and it's basically RNG. ASP costs are also doubled in Nightmare difficulty. Only, and every ultimate move cannot be used again once you use them. Plus, you only get one chance to use an ultimate per battle, so choose wisely. It's also like I have no idea how well this will go. I might even change the attack patterns and HPs of enemies. This is why I'm doing the dice trial videos, just to see if I want to change the HP later. My third dice trial was alright. I just had to change the HP of one of the current bosses because my RNG sucked, and I lost the first time. Items are either dropped by an enemy or bought in shops. All but the max items require a specific dice roll to heal. If your roll is too low, then on easy mode you can re-roll however many times it takes until you get a satisfactory roll. But on normal, if you have a re-roll token, then you can choose whether to reuse it or not. Gonna make sure that I'm recording. Of course I am, because it shows a recording icon. Let alone just hoping that I'm not having things revealed. I'm pretty sure I'm not doing that either. Mushroom or chicken for Bowser, roll 3 dice. And you heal by what was rolled for HP. Costs 5 coins in shops, sold for 3. Flower is a double dice roll, and you recover FP or SP based on what you roll. Costs 8 coins in shops, but sold for 4. Super Shroom or Ham for Bowser, roll 5 dice, HP recovery by the resulting roll. Costs 10 coins in shops, sold for 5. Koopa Tea or a donut for Bowser, roll 4 dice, FP recovery by the resulting roll, costs 14 coins, sold for 7, but 30 coins in Chapter 5 only, meaning that they are sold for that, not bought for that. Ultra Shroom, Power Stake for Bowser, best reference there, roll 10 dice, HP recovery by the resulting roll, costs 20 coins in shops, sold for 10. Golden Leaf, Royal Sherbet for Bowser, roll 8 dice, FP recovery by the resulting roll, costs 25 coins in shops, sold for 30 in Chapter 4, 40 in Chapter 5, or 55 in Chapters... No, don't do the freaking trend, 6 or 7. Max Room, Royal Delight for Bowser, because I couldn't help it. Maximum HP healed. On hard, you only get 5 of these. On Nightmare, you can only get 3. I completely forgot that I said that, because my original thought was that I limited that on normal mode as well. I think I might still limit myself to 5 of them instead of 3, or instead of having as much as possible. Costs 100 coins in shops, but in order to get them, you have to go to the 3rd chapter. Otherwise, They won't be in shops. Sold for 50 coins. If I didn't say it costs 100, you already knew the gist. Golden jar of flower sap. Supreme sweetness for Bowser. Which I think instead I'm going to say... I'm going to just say... Ultimate... Dessert. For Bowser. Kill the maximum FP. Same for Hard and Nightmare for the limit of them. Costs 120 coins in shops. Unlocked in the third chapter that has shop spaces. Sold for 77 coins. Revival tokens. They are infinite on easy. I just edited this, by the way, because originally I didn't have any revival items. But revival tokens are infinite. There's an infinite amount of them on easy. I'm not going to go over the attacks, levels, or enemies. That's just going to be for, well, levels I am, but not the attacks, because that will be dealt with later, let alone I have my own list to remember that kind of thing. The only thing I'm using my docs for is I'm using it for my HP totals and enemy HP totals, because I don't want to have to erase everything every time. Other than inventory, I guess I might as well put down the docs too, but I'm planning on writing it on paper just so that I can remember where I am. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, infinite on easy, buyable on normal, but limited on hard. None on nightmare mode. If you unlock it, it revives one player by a dependent amount. Heads for... You flip a coin for it. Heads, you get full HP, or tails, you get half. Normal... On normal mode, it costs 50 coins. But on hard, it's limited to 5. So they are... So they... The price is 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Then that's it. And on hard mode only, the free shop won't give you them for free. Instead, they won't even be there. Team Revival token. Half the price on easy, but none are found on hard or nightmare. Unless everyone falls, this token revives 2 fallen members at the same time. The catch is 2 heads revives the max heads and tails revives by half, or 2 tails revives by 20% of their max HP. On easy, you only have to worry about flipping 1 coin. But on normal mode, they cost 150 coins. The item that is crucial for easy or normal difficulty. On easy difficulty, there is an infinite amount of them. Only used in battles. It's only if you wish to reroll the low numbers for damage or healing. You start with 1, but are limited to 5 in normal. First one costs 50, second costs 100, third costs 150, and last costs 200. Because, yeah, I literally made 4 of them. It's a price range, again. I might have that exception where I end up making the limit be 10 instead of 4. I realized it was 4 and not 5 like I thought it would be. I'll see. Because I remembered as well, I did a Druco's Tale thing where in my third dice trial I literally had like 10 reroll tokens, and they can be used at any time, and I did that on normal difficulty. Shop token, infinite on easy, but none are in hard or nightmare. If you roll too high, then this token is for you. You only get 3, yet you start with 1. This is talking about normal, making it so that you only buy 2 of them. The first one costs 100 coins, and the second one costs 300 coins. Be wary on that, because shopping spaces, there are There's 5 of them actually. There are 5 shopping tokens. But then, if you get that free shop thing, then you can choose whether to go to the shop or not. But that by making it so that you can only do that once. Healer's token there's only one, and it costs 500 coins on normal. There are none in hard or nightmare mode. Only used in the chapter with healing spaces, which is the final chapter. If your HP is too low, then use this to land on the healing space. Only if you don't land on one originally. Costs 500 coins on normal, 250 on easy. Break token. I actually completely forgot about those. On easy, you can get up to 10 of these. On normal, up to 5, and on hard, up to 3. On nightmare, there are none. How they work is that on any blue space, you flip a coin. If you get heads, you heal a full amount of HP. On easy, you can always heal a full amount of HP, so no worries about flipping a coin. If you get tails, you can only heal by half of it. On hard, you have to flip 2 coins. 2 heads heals you fully. One heads, and only one head. One of the coins that flips heads heals you by half, but 2 coins are only by 20%. How convenient. On easy, in shops, their costs are like this: 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 125, 150, all of that. On normal, it is this: 33, 77. Oh, right, because it's 5. And then on hard, the price is literally just 444 for the third one. Lucky token. There are a lot of lucky spaces out there. On easy, you can only use one at any time, only if you feel ready for what's there. On normal, you get up to 10 of them. Yeah. You will only have one at the start, I'm pretty sure, is how I'm gonna just say that. On hard and nightmare, you get none. Also, on easy and normal. Oh, you can use one at any time. Also on normal, you start with 1. How they work is that when ready, you can choose to go to a lucky space only if you roll too high otherwise. Costs for them in shops on normal only. Oh, good grief. It's been forever, okay? I don't remember that. It's literally this order. I didn't want to say 666 because I hate that number, so I said this instead. Let alone don't want to use a 667 either, so that's why I just stuck with 660. If anything, I would have just done 656, but I won't do that. That would just be weird. Inventory doubler. On easy, it costs half as much, but for what it does, usually your item inventory is 10, but with this, it permanently doubles it to 20. Think about the 1,000-Year Door, for instance. That's what I'm referencing there. On hard, though, the item is non-existent, and on nightmare, your inventory is halved to 5. It costs 300 coins, 150 on easy. Block charm, a very useful item. On easy, you don't even need to worry about that. On normal, you have to flip a coin. If you get heads, you take half damage. Bowser's defense, only from easy to hard, is oh right, I forgot about that too. Is guaranteed for enemies to deal half damage, so the charm works wonders. You can't get this on hard or nightmare. It is free on easy, but costs 123 coins on normal. If your inventory I don't know why I said that. Oh, right. If your inventory, if you have too many items, there's an extra slot, which can only go up to 5. On easy, it's infinite, but there's no extra items in slots in hard or nightmare, so you have to literally get rid of one. The extra slots are useful. They can be used to either sell the items or just as keepsakes. And then I'm gonna just edit all of this. Let's see if okay. Tax. I don't want you to see that yet. In this game, experience points are always 100 because it's like Paper Mario methods. There are 20 levels in all. Most of them reward you with more HP and FP or SP. Everyone starts with 20. That is basically just Mario just starts with 20. It just means like everyone's HP is 20 at level 1. Maximum is 100 because it's Paper Mario. Ha ha ha. But not really. The starting FP is 5 and the max is 50. I honestly oh right. The max is 50 for that one. I should make this 10. I'm gonna just do my math again. 5, 10, 15. No, wait. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Well, dang. I think I'm actually gonna do, because of that. Let me double check this. Let me do my levels thing again. HP, because this is 20. And it's like 25. This one makes sense. 25, 30, 35, 40. No, it doesn't. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. What the heck? 85, 90, 95, 100. How the heck did I count this before? Let me see something. This is a little bit of a technical fix. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, well, dang. Okay, then. I have another idea. Level 18 will not be the final HP up, but instead, it'll just be me saying same as level, with lowercase, same as level 17. It's a good thing I'm doing these tests. Item reward, golden jar of flour syrup. And then instead of final FP up, I'm going to say final HP and plus FP up. Let alone, I'm going to say this work. I should have known about this math beforehand. But this is gonna be HP by 5 and FP by 5. I'm gonna make it be odd numbers instead, because then it's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So, just HP up by 5. And then for HP, but now you also get 5 FP. But now FP also goes up by 5. Then literally every time I'm just gonna say 4 HP. And then do this. For HP plus FP. Seven. This is something I should just not worry about at all. Let alone I have to bold these as well, just to make sense of what. This is something I have to worry about later, and I will worry about them later. I'm just gonna worry about these later. Anyways. So yeah, all of that makes sense. I'm gonna show all of that later too. I think we're all set with the rules and everything else. I recorded that for a very long time in my explanation, to the point where I think I should just end things off there. Sorry to bore you with my instructions of how to play this game, but I will be doing more of this. Just that I have done a lot. I'm sorry, that is... Well, no, you don't even see what I'm seeing. Never mind. So, never mind about my first part being just about me playing the game. Instead, I decided to just explain everything. So, for the next video, I'm going to show this board off. But time for me to show you real quick about what I'm using for the team members. Because you'll laugh. I decided it, but you don't have to do this with me if you don't want to. A pawn for Mario. A bishop for Luigi. And a king for Bowser. They roll. That's so silly. Okay. I'm done now. So, yeah, just... explanations aside, I'm sorry in advance if that bores you. It's an optional thing, but that's just to make clear about how the game works. Hopefully things go well in that situation. Because yes, I will admit that I use Google Docs to write my books too. But see you guys in the next one. I don't know how this is gonna go for the remainder, because the remainder of the time I'm going to do something that I've never done before.